Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas. This is episode number 23 with our AEW Dynamite review. I'm here tonight with my co-host, Rome. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, and it's the Rampage review.
The Rampage review. You are correct. I was on the wrong page of my thing here. Oh, man. Thank you.
No problem. Well, I'm here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, everybody watching right now on YouTube. Ryan, welcome. And everybody else that is listening on Spotify, Anchor, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts, thank you guys as well. Dude, what a great episode tonight. I love Rampage. I love the structure. I think I say it every week. I love how we start off with a match right away and bang right into Bryan Danielson versus Trent. Just love it.
Yeah, definitely. Very strong night of wrestling. Very quick, fast, fun, but packed hour of wrestling.
Yeah. So this first match, man, Danielson versus Trent, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was a lot better than I actually expected it to be for some reason. How about you?
It was kind of what I expected, which was an excellent match. I mean, Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world, and Trent is an extremely underrated wrestler. The guy is just awesome. I sing his praises every single chance I get.
Yeah.
I thought this was an excellent match. It was a great match to start the show. I think on other nights it could be the best match on the card. It wasn't tonight, but it was an excellent match all the same.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of noticed something throughout the match. Every once in a while, my brain picks these things out when I'm not paying attention. But Trent was focusing on Danielson's head the entire time because we all know he has a history of the concussions. And Danielson was focusing on Trent's neck because we all know he had neck surgery. Again, it's how we always say that they treat us like, we're not stupid. I love how they, add things like that to these matches that smarter fans can see and, understand.
Yeah, everything matters. Just, continuity. Continuity matters. Just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it didn't happen or it doesn't matter.
Yep. Well, these two pretty much just beat the crap out of each other. I was surprised that there was no blood, but yeah, they basically just beat the crap out of each other. Danielson hit the Busaiku knee, gotch pile driver, and then straight into the stomping his head in. That was a pretty nasty sequence for Trent there, especially with the old neck injury.
Yep, and in the chat we got Ryan Davis again. He he says that's what makes AEW the best, and it's pro wrestling, and yeah, it's what it is. It's I think that there is a level of sports entertainment that comes with pro wrestling, absolutely, but at the end of the day, like the pro wrestling aspect of it is the most important part, and if you're not doing that well, then what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
they need to go hand in hand. It complements each other. You can't do it right without both.
exactly.
That's what's great. For me, that's what AEW does better than any other company that, other companies have great pro wrestling, whether you're talking about New Japan or, Impact or NWA, like all these companies have, great professional wrestling. For me, the thing that really sets it apart is that AEW does dip into the sports entertainment aspect of it, but again, in a positive way. AEW's version of sports entertainment is not a derogatory term against pro wrestling.
No,
like
definitely
it is
not.
presented.
All right, well, yep. So Danielson takes that match like I thought he was going to. I wrote down after that match, I wrote, it must suck to wrestle Bryan Danielson. He puts people in a few submission moves that it's just like, dude, that looks like it's not fun at all.
Yeah, he really works them sometimes. That finishing submission that Bryan Danielson did was nasty.
Yeah, it was almost like
turned his neck.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe that thing. It was almost his label lock, but he grabbed him by the mouth instead. Like, ugh.
Yeah, it twisted his neck.
Yeah. All right, so next up we had a quick interview with Hook in the locker room, and once again Hook doesn't say much, but as he was walking out of the locker room after completely ignoring the interview girl there, I'm sorry, I don't know her name.
Lexi Nair.
What was it?
It's Lexi Nair.
Lexi Nair. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember that. Danhausen pops out of the trash can, tries to curse him again, and it doesn't work for the second time. So Hook throws his bag of potato chips at Danhausen, and he thinks maybe the chips are the answer. He picks up the chips and starts eating them out of the trash can.
Yeah, I thought this was a really funny segment.
Yeah,
I'm still really curious if this is leading to a Hook versus Danhausen match.
I hope so.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting match to have.
Oh, that would be really good.
I don't know. I don't know if what Hook's going for right now is going to mesh with Danhausen right now.
Well,
I'm not saying it's going to be a bad match. It's just kind of a weird matchup. I feel like for Hook.
yeah. Now,
Um,
think Orange Cassidy versus Pac. You know what I mean? Like, if they can have one of those types of matches, I think that would be great.
well, my only thing is I don't know if Hook's at that point yet where like that kind of match works for him. I mean,
True.
he's still really fresh and really new, and I feel like he's still kind of in that phase where he should be going in there and maybe not having squash matches, but having matches where like the QT Hook match where that went like I think it was like 5 minutes. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't know if it's time yet to see Hook do comedy wrestling, which I love comedy wrestling too. Like don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I love Orange Cassidy, I love Danhausen. It just feels like a weird spot right now.
I know. They're probably just trying to figure out a place to put him and, you know, Hook and Danhausen. I don't want to call them sideshow acts, but you get the idea. You know what I mean? They're both kind of like off the main center acts. So I get it.
Right.
All right. Next up was a Men of the Year in ring promo. I immediately rolled my eyes because I immediately knew Sammy and Ty Conti were going to show up any moment. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Ethan Page cut a pretty decent, promo in there. Uh, it is what it is. I'm just not into this whole Sammy and Ty Conti thing on my TV right now. But for those that enjoy it, I could see this being a decent segment.
So I think that while we agree, I think my thoughts on it are a little bit stronger. Um, I think Dan Lambert is awesome, and
Oh yeah,
I think Ethan Page is awesome. I think Scorpio Sky is awesome. I hated this segment. I just absolutely hated this segment. I
yeah,
think that it's just again we're going in this direction where at this point like Sammy and Ty are definitely heels, right? Because I'm sitting here like watching this promo, watching this segment, and it's just like super unlikable. And like they're like Ethan Page is like talking about his kid. He's like, we don't care about your kid. Like no one gives a shit about your kid or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know if babyface is going to be sitting here saying that they don't give a shit about kids. I don't know. It like this is just like Ryan Davis in the chat again says all ego is awesome, but this is killing Sammy's run.
yeah,
I don't think ego is the one killing his run. I think Ty Conti is killing Sammy's run because it's like
yeah,
it's painful. It's painfully bad. Like this is like consistently for me the worst thing on AEW programming.
yeah,
Probably like this might be the worst thing I've seen on AEW programming since like the Nightmare Collective,
yeah. It's right
and
there
that's a
with
throwback.
Corey
That's a
Graves and
goddamn
Carmella for me. So
yeah, but that type of shit is regular in the Fed. That's everyday
true.
life.
Yeah,
This is not everyday stuff here with AEW. This is just something that like I'm not sure what the direction is because like they're working as baby faces, but they're just super unlikable and like like I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but like I'm sitting here like, yeah, tell him Dan Lambert.
yeah.
like I'm
I
like
I do have to admit this little feud has made me a fan of Lambert, and I actually could not stand him before, but I hate Sammy and Ty Conti in this so much that I'm enjoying Lambert now. So there's
yeah,
that.
which I mean like is good about Lambert, but it's also not a good thing because Lambert's one of those kinds of heels where like he's generally not liked, and the fact that he's coming out of this being liked is not a good thing.
Yeah,
It's not again. This is not a knock against anyone on America's Top Team or whatever it's called. This is strictly a critique of Sammy and Ty Conti. It's just not working.
yeah,
It's really not working. And like for me, like it's just like then they end the segment with, "We're just gonna keep doing this segment. We're gonna keep doing this until you give us the match."
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm sitting here, like, I just want the match to happen so that way we can move on. I don't want to see the match for the sake of the match. And I'm sure it'll be a good match, but it's just like, can we just fast forward this rivalry and just, I
That,
don't like, that's the problem. I don't even know if the rivalry is the problem, because if Sammy and Ty are just going to keep being a thing on
yeah.
camera, like,
So,
just turn him heel. Just
so
fucking turn him heel. It's
here's
ridiculous.
my thing. If they're gonna be doing this, I need to see wrestling more than talking. You know what I mean? Like they even said it tonight. Like he was like, do it with your wrestling and stop talking. And I'm like, exactly. I'm like, get to the point. Get Paige Van Zant in here. Get this match going. You know, I mean, like just let's just do this. Let's get it in. Let's get it going. We'll see how it goes from
Yeah,
there.
it's just bad.
Yeah,
It's really bad TV.
yeah,
It's like we talked on Wednesday with the Dynamite review, which go check it out if you haven't. Um, this is trash TV.
yeah,
It's not good. It's something that I would expect from the Fed, which is, honestly the worst thing I could say about something on AEW programming. It's not good. It's very bad. Like
yep,
it's F minus for me. And again, like that is not a knock against Page or Sky or Lambert, because these guys are killing it and they are making gold out of the shit that's being given to them.
yep,
Um, but it's like, man, just stop, just let it go, just end it.
yeah. All right, what's up, Jordan? Welcome into the chat. If you guys haven't noticed, at the bottom of the screen here, we now have the stream avatars set up for YouTube. If you guys want to change your avatar, I have it pinned up there. Just click that link and you can select from like 300 different avatars. There's a Ric Flair avatar. There's a bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters and Pokemon characters. So go for it, guys. Yep. So I hated the segment. We'll just go straight past this one now. I can understand how if someone who's a big Ty Conti and Sammy fan, I get how you would have liked it, but it's just not for us. You know, we're just not into it.
Well, like that's the problem though, is that I consider myself a huge Ty Conti fan, and I consider
Same.
myself a pretty big Sammy fan. So it's like, this isn't even that I don't like them to begin with. Like, this is just the combination
Yeah.
here. Like, it's just not working for me. Again, it's just their gimmick is, we're two attractive people
Yeah.
who just have sex all the time. And it's like, all right, cool. Like,
Yeah. It's like we all know. We all get it.
yeah, I get it. I really don't care. Really don't care.
Yep. All right.
And then
So
did you
next
hold
up.
on one
Oh,
last hold on, I'm sorry. One last thing, because I remembered it. Towards the end of the promo, there was this thing where Ethan Page is like, it was either Ethan Page or Lambert, and they're like, I hope Ty, like, basically they're saying Ty Conti's a whore, right?
yeah.
And they're like you didn't get the parenting you needed or whatever. And like, so how does Ty respond? Ty responds by like starting to like strip a little bit and
Yeah.
like putting on like a real pouty face. And I'm like, wait, are you agreeing with him that you are a whore? Like, I'm like, wait, what is going on here? But okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we can continue on. That was
No,
just
you're
something I
good.
had in
Yeah,
my
I
notes.
get what you're saying there though. She started to like take
It
her
was in my
jacket
notes.
off.
Yeah, it was in my notes and we didn't touch on that part, so I just wanted to like, okay,
It's
we
all
can
good.
keep going.
All right, so next up was one of my favorite things that's going on now is Chris Jericho's Sports Entertainer of the Week award. This was given to QT Marshall this week. And he said due to his selection of expensive colognes and BMWs. I got a good laugh out of that. I love this segment. What do you think of this Chris Jericho Sports Entertainer of the Week?
I mean, I think it's amazing. I think the thing about Jericho is he's one of those guys that just keeps reinventing himself. And, the sports entertainer thing, it's a total heel thing, and like totally hate him for it. But I mean, he's killing it. He's once again reinventing himself and he's coming up with something new. He's a very creative guy. And, I love that it's like a segment now. It was funny before when it was just him on commentary and he just kind of does like a little, oh, by the way, this is my sports entertainer of the week. But now it's like a whole little segment.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I thought that was funny.
can you think of any other wrestler in history who has reinvented themselves like this? Like maybe Mick Foley, he's got a few personas. I think The Undertaker had 2 or 3 personas, but This is crazy. This has got to be the 5th or 6th different Chris Jericho we've seen over the years, and they're all good.
I mean, you have Lionheart, and then you have the Y2J,
Yep.
and then you have the Code Breaker,
Yep.
and then you have oh, what was it, the gimmick in Japan called the Painmaker,
Painmaker,
Painmaker, and then Le Champion.
Le Champion. That's 5 right
And then
there.
this, and then Sports Entertainment, and then like the Demo God, but it's kind of the same as Le
Yeah.
Champion.
So yeah,
And
we're at like
then
6 now. This is wild.
yeah, I mean, it's a sign of how great he is. You know, he reinvents himself when needed, and he stays relevant because of it. You know, there are other guys
Yeah.
who, you know, they're probably just as good of wrestlers as he is, but they didn't stay relevant because they didn't kind of do something new. They didn't switch it up.
Yeah, and he seems to know right when the time is right to switch it up as well. Like a lot of times when guys are going stale, they let it go too long. He just seems to nail it right at the right time.
Yeah, but never forget the time that the Fed referred to Chris Jericho as a B+ player.
Oh, jeez.
Please make sure you never forget that.
Yeah. All right, so after the award, QT Marshall is facing Swerve Strickland, one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now. I am absolutely just I can't see enough of Swerve. He's so good. I love that guy.
Yeah, I love how much we're seeing him on TV. The dude's a real worker. He's a workhorse. He goes out there. He has these great matches. I thought this was a really good match. It wasn't his best match that he's had in the past few weeks. I mean, but it was still a solid, great match. That was
Yeah.
kind of like my biggest thing against this was that it was kind of stuck in the middle between two really, really good matches tonight,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a knock against. There's nothing he could do about it. It's just the way it is,
Yeah.
and it's just the structure of Rampage. But like, man, this is such a great night that he does kind of come out as um what's the word I'm looking for? Overshadowed, I guess. Where
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
this was a really good match. This is a really good match, but nobody's going to talk about this match.
Definitely. I completely agree. I'm not sure if I've ever said this before, but I'll say it again. QT Marshall is like the textbook wrestler. Like if you were to make like a computer simulation that would show you how to do wrestling moves, he's like that simulation. You know what I mean? It's just everything he does is just textbook perfect.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Which is why I think it's such a good idea that he's a trainer,
Yeah, absolutely.
because
Um,
he's not going to be the star, but he knows the basics very well.
yep, that's exactly it. Whose house? Oh, go watch his match with Nick. Oh, dude, I've been touting that match for a long time. That's one of my favorite matches that I've seen this year. Actually, really, really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I thought this
so
was a really good match, and we get Swerve picking up the win. After the match, we get a little bit of an altercation between him and Ricky Starks, setting up for, I believe it
yeah,
was a tag match. They said.
yeah, tag match
Um,
in New Orleans.
yes, I think this is going to be a really good match. Again, like these four guys have really kind of been, I don't want to say carrying Rampage, but like they've been kind of like the focal point of Rampage over the last like month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention on Twitter that it's almost noticeable now that Rampage kind of has its own roster a little bit. We got Starks and Swerve; they're almost always on Rampage now. So I'm actually liking that. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely. I've also noticed that, and I really enjoy that as well.
Yeah, and I got to point out the finisher again. Swerve's finisher, that jump kick that he does, it's like a little. I don't even know what to call it, man, but that kick to the back of the head, I just love that, and it's such a simple, finisher.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so next up was a quick promo for Marina Shafir versus Jade Cargill. This was the first time I seen a promo with Marina Shafir that actually made me believe she's got a shot against Jade, even though she doesn't. But it did actually do the job in making me believe that girl was a badass and she wasn't afraid of Jade. So this should be a good match.
I think so to an extent. I think that this was too short, and I know that these Rampage segments can usually be like under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, but I needed to see more, especially considering we don't really know a lot about Marina Shafir. I mean, apart from a few dark matches. I thought that again, like I agree with you, and I liked what she said. I mean, I wrote down the one line that she said, "I beg you to solve me,"
Yeah.
but that was all she said. So I just I needed to see a little bit more here. Like, and again, I understand these Rampage promos. They sometimes they're like 30 seconds. It's go go go, but we couldn't give this girl 10 more seconds to say something else. Like like I don't know.
I
I
can
thought
agree with
this
that.
went by way too quickly. I didn't think there was any substance to it at all. Um, and considering that she's kind of an unknown, I was expecting a little bit more. Um,
Gotcha.
hope because I don't know if she's going to be on Dynamite. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, this Jade Cargill match, it should be on Dynamite. Or, I mean,
No,
the
it'll
TBS.
probably be on Saturday night. If I had to
Oh,
bet,
you're
it would be
right.
on Saturday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
So,
Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts. You're probably right.
Hmm.
All right. Next up, we out of nowhere after this promo, like I was unexpecting it. I actually I was shocked when it popped up on the screen. Was Willow versus Red Velvet already in the ring, like bell ringing? I was like, whoa, how did we get to here already? But that's the Rampage formula, man. It's fine. I'm good with it. It's cool.
Was she? Hold on. Ryan Davis says in the chat, Shafir was in Baszler's Horsewomen in NXT. I know of the faction, but was she one of them? Because I do remember that. I wasn't watching NXT at that
That's a
point.
good question. Let me check here. You go ahead and
Yeah,
do the Willow match here. I'll take a look real quick.
yeah. Yeah, please fact check that for us. Thank you. Um, so we did have the Owen qualifier, Willow Nightingale versus Red Velvet. I thought this was a good match. I definitely thought this was better than the Willow's match against Mercedes Martinez. Um, I like Willow. She was, she's got like some really good babyface qualities to her that make you kind of want to like her. Kind of like what Jeff said last episode, or I guess it was the ROH review episode where she's still kind of inexperienced in the ring, and this match was definitely showed that at some points. I thought that both her and Red Velvet are still need work. I don't think Red Velvet's at the point yet where she should be carrying matches, and she kind of was tasked with doing that in this match. um it wasn't a bad match. It just, it was there and it did
Yeah.
its purpose, and Red Velvet's making it into the tournament. I just feel like she's going to be a first round exit in the tournament, but
Yeah.
put it in.
So, to confirm here, she was in Shayna Baszler's stable in NXT, and shockingly enough, her husband is Roderick Strong, the last member of
Oh,
the Undisputed Era that is left in WWE.
oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, I had no idea he even had a wife. So yeah, that's a new one. But yep. So she
Well,
was.
hopefully she can talk him into coming to AEW.
I know, right? It's like, I don't know if I think there might be a reason he's the last one left over there. I'm not too sure. He fits their. I think he fits their mold a little bit better. I'm not sure.
What, sports entertainer?
Yeah, yeah. He's.
Not a pro wrestler? Football player? Basketball player? Track star? Olympian?
I mean, I want
You
to
don't
say
need to
he's
know
a
pro
small guy
wrestling.
like Adam Cole, but he's not as good as Adam Cole, I guess. But I'm sure some people would argue with me that he had some matches with Adam Cole that were really good. So, I mean, we could probably go back and forth with that, but we'll see. Um, I don't know if you noticed. Did you see the moonsault that Willow did off the top rope?
Yes, I did catch that.
I say, thank God Red Velvet rolled out of the way because she would have landed straight on her head. That might have killed her.
Yeah, again, just there's a lot of inexperience there, and again, there's something about Willow that she's got. She's got like the it thing when it comes to like a good baby face, and I don't, it's kind of like it's an intangible thing where like she's got it, and it's great.
Yeah.
She's got to get better in the ring though. If she's going to be featured more. I mean, she's got to. That's why I kind of hope we kind of just let's put her in ROH. Because AW should still be in Tony Khan's mind the big leagues. Um, and hopefully, put her in ROH, let her get, some more work in. I would like to see her more on Dark or Elevation, and maybe not necessarily in an enhancement talent way, because that's kind of been her role on Dark and Elevation. And if she's going to start having these kinds of matches where, she's kind of on the level of like a Sky Blue,
Yeah.
I want to see her get some pick up some wins, against someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when she hit that shoulder tackle on Red Velvet, like Keith Lee style, the crowd popped, and I think the crowd put her over. I don't think we see Willow as a developmental for much longer. I think they're going to notice the crowd really enjoys her.
Right.
So I don't know if you noticed this either. That Velvet's finisher was, pretty sloppy, and the crowd knew it. The moment she hit it, the crowd knew it and booed. They knew she had won. Uh, they were really wanting Willow to win that match. So I think in the future, I could almost guarantee she wins her next match.
Well, it's funny because a lot of the matches that Red Velvet works, she's usually booked as a babyface, but the crowd usually turns on her.
Yep.
It's a pretty common thing, and I don't know if it's like Brandy syndrome, where it's like she's kind of associated as like friends with Brandy Rhodes. I mean, I don't
100%.
know. I mean,
100%.
Brandy's gone now, so I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. People just don't like Red Velvet, and I don't dislike Red Velvet, so I don't 100% agree with the hate on that.
I don't exactly hate her, but I feel like she should actually be a heel. So, I'm with the people that are booing her. I still like her.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So next up, we had the match of the night, the main event, possible match of the year for Wheeler Yuta for sure. Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta. What did you think of this, man?
Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
Wheeler fucking Yuta. So like I sat here on Wednesday with you. We talked about Dynamite. We talked about Wheeler Yuta, and I said a star was born. And I was wrong because tonight was the night where the star was born. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this guy? Like this was insane. The the pre-match promo, the Mark Henry spot was incredible. Like the intensity on that was just through the roof. Before the match had even started, before they were even out at the ring, this is at like at an 11 in terms of intensity. And it just escalated. It just escalated from there. Moxley comes out, Yuta's not waiting. He dives through the middle rope, hits Mox. They go out and they fight in the crowd. Mox is falling over fans. Yuta's taking it to him. They get back in the ring. Finally, the match starts. They end up on the outside, and Mox just busts Yuta open. And man, what a great blade job that was. Like,
Dude, it was
that
so
was
fast.
$1,000,000.
It was so quick. It made me think it wasn't a blade job because they only cut to Mox celebrating in the ring for like a second, and they go back and he's already bleeding. I was like, whoa, like that was quick.
Yeah, but he was bleeding really badly. You don't think that they busted him open on the stairs the hard way, do you?
No, because it didn't look like he, did, but that was one of the best blade jobs I've ever seen. He must have had it on him. There's no way it was under the ring. He must have had it in his sleeve or I think he had a wrist thing on. And, it was quick because they did not cut away for long after that stair shot.
Yeah, no. So Yuta gets busted open. We go to commercial break, which again, this is the signs of a great TV match, where it's like, God damn, this commercial break.
Yeah,
Like it was rough.
I actually watched it for the first time I think ever. I watched the picture in picture.
And we come back, and Mox has him in a Boston Crab, and he's just writhing in pain. Blood is dripped. Like this is like on the level of like Bret Hart and Stone Cold at WrestleMania. Like he is just like bleeding, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is insane.
Yeah.
And you know, Yuta just the Yuta put up such a hell of a fight, and the offense he was putting out there, he was basically started doing the Bryan Danielson gimmick, where he's kicking his head in, he's
Yeah.
doing like cross faces, and oh my god, like this is just, and he kept bringing it to Mox, and like when he kicked out of the paradigm shift, you know, that's as good as Yuta winning the match. Like, like in wrestling, yes, wins and losses matter, but also the story that you're telling in the match matters just as much. You could come off of a loss looking better than you would if you had won. On
Oh
Wednesday
yeah.
I was talking about like let him win with a roll up, and like No, that like I would rather this. This is way better. Like, yeah, he lost, but like he kicked out of the paradigm shift. Like that, like nobody kicks out of the paradigm shift. It
Well,
very rarely happens.
so to go with your point there, so usually it's people kick out of the paradigm shift where he doesn't lift them up into the air. That's the one that people have kicked out of. Normally, they do not kick out of the one where they go full over his head and into a suplex type paradigm shift. When he kicked out of that one, I was shocked. I was like, "Holy shit!" So
Yeah,
that was
it was
nuts.
just this was a star-making performance. Um, this was incredible, and then at the end, Mox does win, but I think it was the way this was booked was absolutely perfect. It was the best possible way to book it. Wheeler Yuta is still very young. He doesn't need to beat Jon Moxley yet. It doesn't mean that he won't ever beat Jon Moxley. It's just now is not the time for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
And
at the
Mox
end of
is
the
a
match,
former
William
world
Regal.
champ. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we also got a shout out to the podcast
Woo!
with that fucking crazy splash.
That
Like,
was easily broken table of the week. The video will be out probably tomorrow.
yeah, that was it. Was funny because we were talking on Wednesday. And it's like, oh yeah, the Jeff Hardy Swanton, totally the spot. No,
Nope.
absolutely not. My vote is for this. This
Oh
is
yeah.
the broken table of the week.
Easy. Might be
Certainly.
broken table of the year.
Yeah, it was wild. He kicks out of the two paradigm shifts, and then he puts Mox through the table. Mox crawls back into the ring to try to win by count out, which again, that's just a testament to how great they made Yuta look. Like Mox is like his philosophy there, the psychology of it is I'm not going to bring this guy back into the ring. I'm going to let the ref count him out. And that in and of itself is a victory for Yuta as well. They
Yeah.
literally did everything that they could do to make Yuta look like a star, and he was. We're talking from imagery to how the match was booked to his offense to Mox's offense to the the psychology of the match. Like this was just incredible. This was an excellent match. I can't believe that this match was 15 minutes long.
Dude,
Like
one of my favorite spots in the match was Mox started biting Yuta while his face was covered in blood. And then immediately Yuta comes back and starts biting Mox's face. I was like, this is the best match I've ever seen.
yeah, and again, like people need to really like think about this. Like, so Yuta went out and had a excellent 5-star wrestling match with Bryan Danielson, and then we'll turn around the next week. After winning the Pure Championship, he goes out there and wrestles a Jon Moxley style match, which is not a technical match. It is a fight. Um, and both of these matches were 5-star excellent matches.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Ryan in the chat is just listing other things that I have not mentioned about this match, from him powering out of the bulldog choke and like again like every single thing that happened in this match.
Yeah, multiple 2 counts.
A 1 counts. He kicked out at 1 from some things.
Oh jeez.
Like it was wild, and then at the end Mox does win, and Regal and Danielson come out, and they think they're gonna beat the shit out of him, and Yuta's just like, come on, just do it. And Regal just like with this mad look in his eye just shakes his hand,
Dude,
offers him a handshake.
Regal was having some flashbacks or something. The way that he was like stalking him, I was like, "What are you doing, Regal?"
Well, yeah, because he was trying to look like he was gonna beat him up.
Yeah, it was funny.
But yeah, no, this was excellent. This was a star-making performance, and how many of those have we had in like the last 2 weeks? Star-making
Jeez, man.
performances. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, between FTR and this match, I had this was one of the best weeks of wrestling I've seen in a long time. And it
Yeah,
almost seems like we say that every week, man. It's crazy.
it's just a really good product. It is Tony Khan is making the greatest. Like this guy is the greatest booker in the world.
Oh yeah.
Like he just is. Like this guy has single-handedly revitalized wrestling in North America. Like it's just it was funny because I was talking to Forrest, friend of the show, Forrest, today,
Mm-hmm.
about Tony Khan going off on Twitter, and I told him like that's how you know that tonight's Rampage is going to be a banger, because like when Tony Khan gets hyped up about his product, which he has every right to because it's excellent product, like he always gets a little chippy on Twitter when that happens. And I was just like, you know, it's going to be a good one. Like, it's going to be a good one if Tony Khan's going out there calling out drones. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he had a field day on Twitter today, man. That was definitely entertaining to say the least.
Man, more power to him. Call him out. Call them all out.
Absolutely. If I found that shit out, I would have called him out too. I would have posted the data.
Yeah,
I'm sure
man.
that's coming though.
Yeah, unless he wants to take the high road and not do that. But
After Twitter today, I don't think he's taking the high road. I would just,
you know what I mean, though. I'm just saying, like, in terms of where he's at now. Like,
yeah,
you
I
can just
got
say
you.
what you said and leave it at that, or you can like smear, which whichever is fine with me, honestly.
Yeah. So we'll actually get to that news here in a minute. But the end of this match, I love the look on Moxley's face. He was like perplexed. You know what I mean? He's like, how the fuck did this guy let me beat the shit out of him for so long? You know, like I really loved the facial expressions of Moxley. It really helped sell it.
Yeah, just like the disbelief on his face after the match, where he's like, "Did that just happen? Like, did you like?" Again, this is a complete 180. The pre-match promo is like, "It's not my job to be your friend. I don't respect you. I don't like you. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." And at the end of the match, he's like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, this guy took me to my limits."
Yeah. Jordan says they should rename the Muta scale to the Yuta scale, the bloodshed scale.
Yeah, right. No, I think that would be great.
Oh, that's good. All right, so looks like we got a new member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Not sure if he's going to start coming out with them, you know, right away or anything like that, but we shall see. I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. I'm guessing a match between Trent and Yuta. I'm guessing.
I think it's a safe assumption. It could
Yeah,
it could be a feud between the two factions, or it could be just a straight up match.
yeah. I'd like a feud between the factions. That's not a bad idea.
My only thing with it is I don't think best friends win that feud, and I feel like the last few feuds that they've been in, they've lost. So I kind of want to see them kind of move into something
Chop
that they're
squat.
gonna win. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, either way, it's gonna be great wrestling. I mean, two great factions.
Yeah. I definitely love them both. Love them both. So what do we got for next week's Dynamite? Have they announced much yet?
So they did the card announcement in a kind of a weird way this week, where I didn't get to write it all down. But there was one match that was announced that is a holy shit match. And that is Minoru Suzuki defending his Ring of Honor TV title against Samoa Joe.
Woo!
Oh my God. Now,
Oh man.
in the meantime, over in the Fed, they are touting the Miz versus the Hypocrite, which,
The Miz
I
versus
get.
Logan Paul.
No, the Hypocrite, not Logan Paul. I don't want to. Don't make me say his name. You know who?
Oh. Jesus, are you serious? No way.
Yeah, they announced the Miz versus Cody. That's their
Wow.
thing. You know, whatever. And meanwhile, we got Minoru Suzuki versus fucking Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor TV title. It's like, all right, well, I know what show I'd rather watch.
Yeah. Seriously, my God, man. Oh. The
Uh,
Miz?
yes, sir, Mike Mizanin himself.
I'm I'm sitting here thinking now, like, who else is there left after he already wrestled Seth Rollins? All that's left is Roman. This is what happens when you gut your freaking roster, man. Jesus. Ugh.
This is what happens when you don't build stars.
Yeah.
Again, in AEW, God forbid someone goes down, someone gets hurt. Okay, well, we have a lot of people and a lot of, guys and girls that we could put into spots and interchange because we make stars.
Yeah. Like, how is it not like Drew McIntyre or something? Jesus.
I don't
God.
even know, man. And then I wonder, are they gonna actually do like a feud? Like, is he gonna like do some storylines, or is it just like, all right, well, we're gonna have Cody come out and, you know, have matches against just
He
the
better
usual
squash the
gang.
Miz. If he's talking about ending Roman's reign, he better squash the Miz.
He's not gonna squash the Miz,
Oh, I
please.
know. They'll never squash him.
Yeah, he's not gonna squash the Miz.
God. All right. Well, I am very excited to see Joe versus Suzuki. Holy crap. That's like Jordan said, that's a Joe versus Kabashi level dream match. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on Wednesday, and I'm saying it again tonight. This upcoming week of AEW it's going to be really special. Make sure make sure you're free every night except for Thursday. Because we're gonna get Elevation and Dark on Monday and Tuesday, which you know won't be surprised if a lot of people skip them just because of how much other wrestling is going on that week. But we're gonna have a stacked Dynamite, which definitely for Dynamite, I know we definitely have the tag team championships. Um, Red Jurassic Express versus Red Dragon. I know we have Joe and Suzuki. I know off the top of my head we have the JAS versus Kingston and Pride and Powerful, and I know we have something else announced for Wednesday, but I don't remember what it was. I think it's an Owen qualifier, and then Friday is Rampage, which is at a special start time of 7 o'clock, which is going to have the Texas Death Match versus Adam Page and Adam Cole. And then Saturday night is Battle of the Belts, which I know is getting main evented by Thunder Rosa and Nyla
Nyla Rose.
for the women's title. So it's like
Nice.
there's must see matches all throughout the week. Like this is a legitimate, fully booked week of wrestling from Tony
Yeah.
Khan.
And this is actually a live Rampage as well. So if everybody, if you don't like the whole taped atmosphere of Rampage, this one is going to be live with the Texas Death Match, so that should be freaking awesome.
See, the irony is not lost on me because I'm so excited for this time slot. I think this is the time slot that they need to do
Same.
all the time.
Yep.
Friday, 7 p.m. Like this is where Rampage should be. But the irony is not lost on me that I work until 7 on Friday. So I will be watching it, and we will do a post-show pod Friday night. It just is, it's not going to be immediately after because I
Okay,
got to
we'll
get home and kind of watch it real quick.
wait a little bit. Yeah.
But it's Rampage, so it's only going to be an hour. So if I get home at like 7:40 and I start at like 7:45, like I'll be ready to go by like 8:30,
Yeah,
8:45.
I got you.
Because I'll skip the commercials, so it's fine.
No worries.
But yeah, no, really exciting week of wrestling coming up, and that's just the stuff that we know about now. Like things are going to get added between now and Wednesday.
Yep. So any other news you wanted to talk about real quick?
Um, trying to think. I mean, you want to talk about Tony Khan and what he said, or
Yeah, so today Tony Khan had a field day on Twitter when he basically announced that he had hired a independent firm to do some research on Twitter about why there were so many accounts that seemed to hate on AEW posts and things like that. And it turns out that they have concluded that there are thousands upon thousands of bots that are controlled by a single entity, is how they put it. And those bots are basically their whole purpose is to be anti AEW. They all say the exact same thing with one letter different here and there, and he basically called him out on it. What did you think of this?
So I'm a big believer in if you believe in yourself, make it known that you believe in yourself, and if you can back it up, talk it. And I mean, yeah, Tony Khan is right to call out these Fed drones. Like it's not okay. It is a legitimate thing, and we've talked about in the past. My big thing is I'm sitting here. I'm a certified Fed hater. Okay, and I will tell you that right now. Jeff knows. He's seen the certificate.
Say it.
I've
Say the thing.
I do not like them. There's a lot of hate and a lot of vitriol from me. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you right now, there are reasons for it. I have literally a laundry list of reasons as to why I feel the way I feel about that company. And one day, probably when we get, a little bit bigger, we're going to do a pod about it. And I'm going to sit down and story time with Rome. And I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything, the whole story about why I just hate the Fed from start to finish.
Yeah.
When I go on Twitter or I go on Facebook or I go on anywhere and I see these WWE marks, these Fed drones hating on AEW, the difference between me and them is that I've watched the other product, and my opinions are coming from a place of experience. I watched WWE for years,
Yeah.
for decades. I've watched their product. I read what happens on their product. These Fed drones, they don't do that. They don't watch the product, and you can tell they don't watch the product by what they're saying. They'll talk about Jon Moxley, or they'll be like, "Oh, it's all flips and shit." Like Jon Moxley is not going around flipping, ladies and gentlemen. He is not.
No.
I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but he's not. It's like
I can
it's
pick these
ridiculous,
drones out from a mile away now. They're so obvious with the numbers in their name.
right? And there's people out there who like both products, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm not gonna knock you for watching what you watch. I might question it, but I'm not gonna knock it. If you like the Fed, you like the Fed. But don't sit here and say that you don't like AEW and you don't watch AEW. Like if the reason you don't like AEW is because it's not WWE, then you're toxic and you're part of the problem. And I understand coming from the certified Fed hater, the word toxic may, seem somewhat hypocritical, but I promise you it's not. It is not hypocritical.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because there was a time where I would have called myself a Fed drone.
Hey man, I
But
was diehard not even 4 years ago, and a few trips to Saudi Arabia and the murder of Bray Wyatt, turned me off
yeah,
pretty badly. So
I mean, those are just two of the things on my list. I have quite a few
yeah,
quite a few things. One day we'll sit down and we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. But no, I think that I think that Tony Khan has a right to hire a firm to look into these things. And I mean, if he's finding results, he's finding results. I mean, people can get as upset with him as they want, but I mean, he can spend his money and investigate whatever he wants to fucking investigate. I mean,
yeah,
and if they come back and they're like, this is what we found, well, that's what they found. They found that these accounts, they all say the same things and they retweet. Like they're literally Fed drones. They're drones. Like that's what they are. These accounts, these bots, they're drones.
yep.
Um.
But I'm glad he
So
called him out
yeah,
on it. Maybe we'll see something actually happen about it. Maybe now that it's been called out, maybe they'll turn it down a little bit, or maybe they'll turn it up a little bit. You never know.
yeah, man. Who do you think's spending all this money on these drones?
uh, couldn't be Impact Wrestling because they don't have any money. Um,
Maybe it's Eric Bischoff. What's Bischoff doing these days?
his weak ass podcast. Oh, you know. But all right, so I think that'll do it for us this week. I was gonna do a Fed blunder about the tag team titles being vacated, but I think I'm gonna stay away from that whole topic there because there's no good side to that entire topic. We'll just let everyone learn that from other sources.
Yeah, I mean, plus, in all fairness, I don't know if I consider that a Fed blunder. I mean,
Well,
mm,
I'll just say the firing part of it. They didn't wait at all to see or hear anything, and doesn't make much sense at the moment. But I'm just gonna stay out of that one. That's a very odd situation at the moment.
yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that how quickly they reacted is a Fed
Yeah,
blunder.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And they
I
had
thought you
just
were
put the
okay.
titles
Yeah,
on
yeah, I
these
got
guys on WrestleMania weekend, so it was very weird. But we'll let it play out.
you.
Maybe we'll talk about it when it does finally completely play out. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, this has been episode 23 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed it, what you heard today, please give us a like, a follow, a subscription wherever you find us. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. We will be live following AEW Dynamite this Wednesday night. But until then, see you guys later.
Right on, man. You have a good night. And everybody else,
You too.
peace.